pull-ups over the years. So it's a habit I've maintained of always having some 5 to 10 rep sets of pull-ups in my workouts over a week. But then my goal is not to get to 25, 30 reps per set. I don't have a need for that. I add weight. So this last week in my axe protocol, I've got 3 days at banded back squat, because you can load a back squat like you can't with a kettlebell. And also the bands help with acceleration, right? You need to have, the bands pull harder the longer you stretch them. So it forces you to accelerate. So I was doing a single banded back squat, and then a single, or I don't remember what the numbers were, how many, but it was a weighted with a 40-pound kettlebell. So I was doing pull-ups like that. So that would build my strength on my pull-ups without taxing me to death. And that was an on the minute. Let's rest. Okay, back to Christian Thibodeau. Also, he had a workout written in T Nation called Russian Strength Skill Workouts. I think his was like singles. But I think he had a bunch of things in it. But what gave me the idea was singles, and then you just work at one weight, or you can move the weight up and down. Or if you're into velocity-based training, I have a bar velocity meter, and if I used it so that when the velocity starts to drop, I drop the weight, so I can keep it at the velocity to get the targeted training effect. So if I was working on speed strength and it was, I don't know, what's that, like 0.8 meters per second or something like that, 0.8 to 1, and so I would drop the weight and stay up high, stay that high velocity. Or if I was working on closer to absolute strength, I don't remember what that 0.5 meters per second, much lower velocity on my squat or whatever it was. And so I could keep the weights set correctly so I could achieve a certain volume at the right velocity to get that desired training effect. What else? So grease the groove. Strength is a skill, and I think this whole thing with clusters and low rep sets at high volumes embodies that training the skill aspect. So you build power and strength. So strength plus speed together, you're going to make your power. But you don't hurt yourself. I want to say something else. This can be tuned for aerobic or anaerobic conditioning. Like if you want to pack together the sets and do more reps per set, less rest, there you go. Clusters. What else? I discovered this by myself a long time ago. I just said, what if I wanted to lift heavy, but it was hurting. So I thought maybe I'll just do singles or doubles. And then the following week I had to do something, and I ended up lifting like a stack of chairs that was hard to do before. But then after a few days of recovery from that, I just like picked it up. I said, this has to be something to this. And then I'm researching all the time, and now I'm finding, cluster sets. Strength is a skill. Nothing new under the sun. How can we put this together to make it work for me? What is the benefit overall besides the training effects? Or no, that's not the question. What are the prominent features of these training methods here, of this low rep, heavy weight, full output? Okay, lots of first reps. If you're an athlete, or especially something like where you get one attempt only, 3 attempts, but you're only doing 1 rep, like Olympic weightlifting or powerlifting, I imagine you could put football because your play only lasts a few seconds, and then there's a period of rest, and then you do it again. Or baseball, you only get to swing that bat so many times or throw that ball so many times. First reps, you're getting to practice, or like a cold bore shot, right? You're out in the field, and if you're hunting, you don't get, I'm going to walk my shot out to that deer with my spotter. So this is the cold bore shot. This is the epitome of the cold bore shot in the training realm. There's lots of first reps. So you're practicing your technique and full output. You're not worn out. The program doesn't kill you. You don't get so burned out that you can't stay above that high output. What else? So why is that important though? Technical efficiency and safety. There's a margin for technique, right, to be safe. But why does that matter? Well, first, for efficiency, you're putting your energy here, right? So if I'm bleeding my energy out, but I need to have it here, that's a waste, right? And also for safety, if it is bleeding out here when it should be here, that means something is out of alignment, And if I'm putting a lot of power into the ground through a joint and that joint's out of alignment, probably going to hurt myself or start wearing down the cartilage in a funny way or herniate a disc or whatever. So this is why it's good to practice your efficiency and your safety with having a better technique by using small sets so you're not tired. I mean, you can build the set. You don't have to only use singles or doubles or triples. You can do 5 to 10 if that's what you want to do. But if you can do 10, then you should probably just add weight and then practice heavier. So the whole point is of this idea here is practice. Submaximal, right? So my best experience with submaximal, aside from these 15 by 1s and 10 by 3s, submaximal sprinting. The mailboxes are 35 yards apart, so I'll submaximal sprint 35, 70, or 105 yards and walk it back. So I don't like long distance running because it's a constant pounding on my joints, my ankles, my knees, my lower back. I don't like it. But and the same thing with a lot of heavy lifting, right? So if I have a lot of rest between reps in my sets or when I'm sprinting, then I can recover. So not only do I get the full output of the power, well, not because it's submaximal, but I can apply, I don't know how I would describe it because it's submaximal effort, but I can focus on the better technique in the exercise and not feel like I'm gassed or hurting myself. Better training effects, right? Because I'm doing the exercise I'm there to do and not a sloppy version of it. So submaximal allows me to practice technique. And I don't max out on my sprinting. It's once a year I might go all out, and I'm a lot faster than when I'm not. It's just because, and this is something that the Soviets discovered, submaximal training. They would train for months at a time at one weight or in one tight range, about 80 to 85%, and look at their weightlifting program. That they're strong. They get stronger. This is a way to get stronger without hurting yourself. All this. And so no matter what your goal is, hypertrophy, strength, speed, power, aerobic, anaerobic, whatever it is, all you have to do is just learn how to tune the variables. But this is what I'm doing right now. This is why you see me doing like these little tiny sets of singles or doubles or 4 and then 5 push-ups, is because I'm trying to be able to build the volume and the work capacity and the technique. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Also, don't use Windex on these boards. This board's over 10 years old and it looks brand new because this stuff is not a gimmick. The dry erase board cleaner, it's not a gimmick. You should use it. If you use Windex, in a few months this will look like some other people's dry erase boards. And, well, it's just a few bucks to save your dry erase board forever. All right, any questions? No, because it's a passive audience, the video camera. All right, thanks.